Well, what's up? What's up? Good evening. For some reason, when I tried to launch this, I couldn't connect to Facebook, but I connected it. But then I was trying to launch it on Twitch, and for some reason, it didn't go live on Twitch. It gave me a warning, said that the title has a banned word. Okay, what? I don't know. But what's up, man? How you guys doing? Welcome. Good evening. And see how you guys are doing in the chat. It's missing Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern. I decided let me just because I didn't have anything recorded. I was like, let me just come on anyway, and we'll do a story that I haven't heard of. First time hearing about this. I was just browsing the internet and I came across this story. Nancy, Ing. I don't know how to. It's not just like Ng. I've heard like Ning or Ing, something like that. This woman from California that went missing. She went on this retreat trip to Guatemala, and she went on October 14, 2023. And a couple of days later, on October 19th, she's reported missing. And it's kind of weird because there's this lady that went out with this lady to paddle on this lake Atitilan. Let me show you Google Maps. Wait, I lost it actually. Let me reopen it. It's a huge, beautiful lake. Lake Atitilan. And there's a video of her too going on the lake. Show you guys. I mean, it's huge. I'm going to show you. So I lost the. I had some YouTube videos. I have to pull it up while I'm watching one of the videos so I can show you too. You can kind of see how massive it is, and it's in this area here. What's up? What's up? How you guys doing, man? Oh, thank you, Serena Hoax. How you doing, man? Caramel, Kitty, Lotus, Serena. So, all right, let's get started with this then. So, let's just start with some of the basic details. There's really not that many, but so this woman is from South California, a place called Monterey Park, and she disappeared while on a yoga retreat. I don't know about those yogis, man. And she went missing, like I said, on the 19th. She's 29 years old. She was officially reported October 19th, and her family said the worst part is not knowing where she is or what exactly happened that day. The details of her disappearance remain few and far between.
Search for Nancy Ing, a California woman who vanished from a yoga retreat in Guatemala.
We just really want to find Nancy and bring her home.
Guatemala.
We want the truth. We want to understand what happened.
The 29-year-old from Monterey Park disappearing near Lake Atitlan, a tourist hotspot popular for retreats and wellness getaways, a place Nancy had visited once before.
She had gone on this same Guatemalan yoga retreat last year as well. Same host, mostly the same itinerary as well. But she loved it so much, she wanted to go back again.
Just a few days into this trip on October 19th, her father says he received a strange phone call from the retreat center saying something had happened to Nancy. And
yeah, still no body. Oh, well, I got to fix that. Still no body. And it's pretty weird. Pretty weird because they say that supposedly like 90-something% or 95% of the lake was searched.
And she was missing, but the details of her disappearance painfully sparse.
We don't really know exactly what happened. The witnesses that were able to see what happened have not been extremely communicative.
The Ing family was.
That's going to be the part of the thing that we're going to get into because of the witnesses. So it was a group of 10 people that went out that morning, and only 8 returned back. So the 2 people that were out there left was Nancy and this other woman. I forget her name, Blaze something. They were out there alone, and this woman said that like Nancy wanted to go swimming, and that she told Nancy that I don't think it's a good idea, she shouldn't go. And supposedly, I don't know, they had just encountered each other out there while they were like on their kayaks, and that Nancy went ahead and jumped in anyway, and she noticed that Nancy's boat was starting to drift, her kayak, and so she went to hold the kayak in place. And when she turned around, Nancy was gone.
Was unable to provide more details about those potential witnesses or what they may have seen on the advice of their attorney. But they tell us the Guatemalan Navy stopped its search after 72 hours, prompting them to hire a private company to scour the volcanic lake from the air using drones and helicopters. Volunteer divers have been searching the water.
We searched pretty much 90% of Lake Atitlan.
Chris Sharp is leading the operation with his helicopter company, frustrated that no one can pinpoint exactly.
But I wonder if they're actually doing in the water search or are they just going above?
Where or how Nancy vanished.
I can't confirm she ever went in the water. There were witnesses who've now returned to the United States who've not been forthcoming. It could potentially be a murder or a homicide. We don't know.
The U.S. State Department and the FBI both telling NBC News they are in contact with local authorities in Guatemala. The FBI now assisting them with the missing persons investigation. Nancy's sister Nikki recalling the last time the family was together just a few days before she left for her trip. Now just wondering if she'll get to see her again.
It was like a joint birthday celebration. So we had a family dinner. And we didn't know that'd be the last time that we'd see her.
Nancy was due back in the United States on October 22nd. Her family is now raising money through a GoFundMe to continue to pay for those private search efforts in hopes.
So this is the company, the kayak company actually spoke out.
Guatemala. You're watching Eyewitness News at 11:30, live on ABC7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. I'm Giovanna Lotta. Philip is off today. The owners of the kayak company who rented the kayaks to the Yogi Group are...
Hoaxer in the chat said that one fishing forum, a guy said he almost died twice on that lake. One from a grenade being thrown, what? And one from eating bad fish from the lake. What?
Speaking out.
A kayaking family says this is the last known video of her taken October 19th and has now been provided to rescue her.
This is her. So this is the day she went missing. This is video from that day, the same lake.
The 29-year-old was on a yoga retreat when she went on a kayaking excursion in the remote area of Lake Atitlan and disappeared. According to Elaine and Lee Beal, who run Kayak Guatemala, this yoga group of 10 people set out on the water in the morning. Their employee taking this photo.
When the group returned, there were only 8 that returned, but we could see in the distance, of a distance of about 100 yards, 2 single kayaks.
Those 2 kayakers were Ing and another woman.
We watched them as they continued paddling until we lost sight of them.
A distress signal called in. The next thing Elaine Beal says she sees.
I witnessed the survivor being ushered up the steps with the yoga instructor. She was clearly distressed, and they didn't say a word to us.
But no sign of Nancy Ing.
So they didn't say anything to the kayaking company. And get this, watch.
The Beals say they called the group's hotel the next morning because they hadn't been paid, only to learn they were gone.
They dipped, right? The very next day, all of them dipped out. I don't know if they were scheduled to leave that day. I forgot, when did they say she was supposed to come back? They said the 22nd. I thought the other video said the 22nd that Nancy was supposed to come back. So I don't know, right after she died, they dipped the next day. And they didn't pay.
That part of leaving within 8 hours of, 12 hours of the accident.
Damn, 8 or 12 hours after they're gone.
And ABC News has learned from Guatemala's Attorney General's office that they haven't been able to interview the woman who was with Nancy or the tour guide because the group left the country. They've requested international assistance to speak with them, but are still waiting to hear back. Meanwhile, Nancy Ing's family desperate for answers.
Please help us bring Nancy home.
Her family hiring a private search team, trying to find her, searching by water and land. Now 3 weeks later, their only clue is an empty kayak and a growing mystery. Nancy Ing's family telling ABC News in a statement, "Our family has tried to contact the witness many times over the last 3 weeks, but she will not speak with us."
And she finally spoke to an attorney, I think about a week ago, so we're going to get into that also. But I thought it was kind of weird. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to put myself like in the mindset or mind frame of like I don't know, let's say I'm the person and this accident happened and I witnessed this accident, like how I would feel, or I don't know, I'd feel bad. I don't know, guilty maybe. I don't know, but like, just, I don't know what I feel. I mean, just, is there a reason I feel guilty? I mean, she warned her supposedly, but like, the family's been contacting her for weeks. And not to say nothing, I would think that you could at least say something to the family. Hey, I'm sorry, or this is what happened. Offer some answers or closure. It took weeks for this lady to speak through her attorney. Which, I mean, having an attorney is wise, you know, but I don't know why so many weeks after. It was just like, you know.
The police report we received did not include a direct statement from her either. Her silence has hindered our search efforts and left us in the dark about what.
It's like, I'd feel really pissed off. I was the family. Like the last person to see her, and you can't say nothing? Nothing? Even if it's just to say that the same story that you're putting on now or whatever.
What happened to Nancy? We don't know which nightmare scenario to believe.
Well, the one thing I was wondering too is because I saw this, so there's going to be another person that speaks about, it was on Inside Edition. They actually show, let me skip to the Inside Edition video.
4.5 weeks after
So they actually went out there themselves, Inside Edition, put on the small screen.
an American woman disappeared while kayaking in
The thing I was thinking is like, don't they normally have vests on too? Wouldn't she have had a life vest? She didn't have a life vest on?
Guatemala. There are still no answers as to what happened. Local officials ruled that Nancy Ng drowned, but her family still has questions. And Lisa Guerrero went to the lake where she disappeared looking for answers.
What happened to Nancy Ng?
I mean, are there people out here without? I guess it's optional. Okay, she didn't have a vest on. So I guess it's just optional.
Went to the lake where she disappeared looking for answers.
What happened to Nancy Ng?
Hell no, I would have put a vest on.
Traveling across the globe to Guatemala, making the long journey by.
I went kayaking once. I've only gone kayaking once, and we had a vest on. And then I went. I think it was last year. I went jet skis for the first time. Did that one time, and I had a vest on too. You know, I mean.
Air, water, and land. Very busy road here in this village on the way to the lake. All in pursuit of answers in the mysterious disappearance of the California woman. Nancy disappeared on a kayaking
I guess a lot of people don't have it on there.
Excursion on Lake Atitlan. When we get there, the sheer immensity of the lake, said to be one of the most beautiful in the world, just blew us away. That final.
That's beautiful. And the place, I mean, huge. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Haunting video of Nancy was taken right there behind me, only about 20 yards away from where she rented the kayak.
The waves always come in about 11:30.
Elaine Beal owns the company that rented the kayak to Nancy and her 9 companions who were with her that day.
2 girls went further to the east.
She showed us on a map where she says Nancy and Christina Blazek, the last person to see.
Oh, so that's the person, Christina Blazek.
Her alive, were kayaking that day.
They kind of went out towards the middle of the lake, not the middle of the lake, and the accident occurred in the waters on the eastern shores.
We watched as a kayaker set out in that same direction, struggling in the choppy waters. What do you think happened?
It's just a tragic accident. They pushed off at about 10:45, which was still calm. An hour later, the waves had started coming in. At that point, it's better to stay close to the shore than to experiment and go off.
I'm near the location where Nancy was.
I mean, I don't know. It would be hard to do something out there nefarious, I would think. I'm just thinking because there's so many people out there, so many witnesses, even though they went beyond where people could see them. I mean, what would she do to her, right? I don't know, push her off or something? I don't see any kind of, any motive that I know of. I guess more than likely it's an accident, but it's just strange, very strange. I mean, I don't know.
went missing. According to Christina, Nancy hopped out of the kayak to go for a swim. Christina says she paddled over to Nancy's kayak to hold on to it to keep it from drifting off. But when she looked back to find Nancy, she was gone.
We're planning to go back to the hotel. We're planning to talk to law enforcement.
I called Nancy's siblings, Jonathan and Nikki, to update them on what we found.
And we're still hoping that more information will come in and that we can find Nancy and bring her home.
Nancy stayed at this hotel. The kayak rental company is right next to the
it's right next to it. Huh.
hotel. One question for the family remains. Why wasn't Nancy wearing a life jacket?
The lawyer for the witness says that they weren't offered life jackets. Is that true?
That's not true. We give people the opportunity to take a life jacket, and for this group, they all said no to taking life jackets.
The kayak owner showed us where they keep them.
I have gone kayaking with Nancy before.
But Nancy's sister, Nikki, says it is her understanding that her sister was never given the option of a life jacket.
We went kayaking in New York. We were offered life vests and we both wore them. So I know for a fact that if they had offered it, she would have taken it.
Yeah, that's weird. I definitely would get one, of course, because I can swim, but just enough to get by, like in the pool, or if it was in a situation, I don't really, I wouldn't be able to, like, if I'm out in a lake somewhere and I fall off, be able to swim enough to probably get back. Probably not, it'd be tough. Or I could try floating on my back, but I definitely wouldn't chance going out there like that. That's weird. I don't know.
A volunteer search and rescue team has canvassed the lake and shoreline by land, air, and water. But so far, there has been no sign of Nancy's body.
It's hard to determine what actually happened when we're hearing lots of conflicting information.
The local police in Guatemala wouldn't comment on the status of the investigation. Christina Blazek, a public defender from California, insists she...
Somebody did say that in the chat. She's an attorney herself. Maybe that's why she didn't say nothing. She's working with that legal lawyer mentality.
Did everything she could to help and has fully cooperated with authorities, including the FBI.
We understand how this could have been very hard and traumatizing to witness, but we do have incomplete information and we need your help.
It was supposed to be an unforgettable vacation to a faraway yoga retreat where she could relax with nature.
Just looking through her photos from this trip, we can tell that she was really happy and really having a good time. And that brings me some comfort.
For this young woman, it may have become her final resting place.
Wow. So let's see what the attorneys had to say. I was going through this too. I was trying to figure out what this said here. We'll get to that in a second.
But still do not have any new leads. Ng hasn't been seen since October 19th. She works for the Alhambra Unified School District. Prosecutors now say she went swimming and drowned, but Nancy's family says that information conflicts with the evidence they received from their attorney and search and rescue team.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
So this is where the attorney speaks out.
Is speaking publicly for the first time through her attorney.
And Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juarez spoke exclusively with the woman's attorney and has reaction from Nancy's family.
To say that my client hasn't done all she can is just not true.
The attorney for Christina Blazek is sharing her account of what happened to Nancy Ng while out kayaking.
She tried to tell her not to swim because it was rough out there and there was a good current.
This video is the last known one of Ng as she headed out on Lake Adelon in Guatemala on October 19th. The 29-year-old was on a yoga retreat when she disappeared. Blazek, a San Bernardino County public defender, was also on the lake. Through her attorney, she says despite her warning, Ng went for a swim, in the process pushing her kayak away into the water, which Blazek then tried to retrieve.
She kept one leg in her kayak and one leg in the other kayak and tried to get back to her. And got close to her, and then apparently she lost the kayak again, and she turned around to go back to get the kayak again, and when she turned back around, Miss Ng was gone.
For Ng's family, it's the first time they say they've heard Blazek's account after several attempts to reach her.
If it is like she says and it's an accident, I don't understand how she could choose to leave my
family in the dark for almost 4 weeks and not just say that from the start.
Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know. 4 weeks? I mean, I don't know. I'd feel some kind of way if I see the family grieving, on TV, pleading, making pleas. Like, you're the one person, the last person to see her. You could offer some type of whatever, I don't know, over the phone. And you have nothing to say for 4 weeks? You're just that cold? You don't feel nothing? Jesus.
As for rumors that Blazek fled Guatemala without speaking to authorities, her attorney and Ing's family both agree that's not what happened.
She went and was told she needed to go talk to the police. And she went and gave a full statement to Guatemala.
So the attorney says, she did speak to police before leaving, and I guess the family agrees.
Please.
I hope she could understand that we have no account of what happened because she's the only person that saw what happened and it wasn't included in the report.
Blazek's attorney says his client has since spoken to the FBI after learning Guatemalan officials wanted to speak to her again. Ing's family says some of the people on the retreat have also reached out, but they are still hoping to hear directly from Blazek about what happened on the lake.
And we're not blaming anybody or accusing anybody of anything. All we want is we want answers and we want to bring Nancy home.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Yeah. I don't think this said of anything in particular. Well, it's the family talking here. Listen to this part.
What really happened?
The last 2 weeks have been like a living hell. Because when we first got the news that she was missing, we just had so many questions.
One of the family members said she might have been kidnapped the day before. She might be somewhere else. We just don't know because we're lacking that vital information.
According to Eng's sister, the group set out on the lake individually and without a specific course. The search company has already surveyed most of the lake, but have found no clues in the disappearance. Now, I've learned that Eng's family is meeting with the FBI today, hoping to get answers faster as to what happened.
That was 3 weeks ago. Oh, so there was this guy too I saw on TikTok, the world of TikTok, and he was making some bold statements or accusations. Let's just listen to when did he post this? Let me see. This was 11/14. Okay, 2 weeks ago or something.
Update until tomorrow because I know the identity of the woman who was last seen with Nancy Ng. But after I posted the last update about an hour ago, naming the yoga instructor Yogi Eddie, also known as Eddie Ramada. If you want those details about all the shady stuff that Eddie has done, check out this video.
Not the yogis. Yogi Eddie. Hey, Ed. Oh, he wrote back to him. You all have been lied to, and I don't know why. I have been open, clear communication with the entire Nikki NG family and the Guatemala authorities since the tragic afternoon with proof that will soon be made public. I have all the messages between Nikki and myself and since Thursday of the tragedy. That photo you used on the first video was sent by the students that have also been in communication with the family as well. How would they have those pictures if nobody had reached out to them? I spoke with FBI last week. Your videos are beginning to slander my reputation. Ooh. I don't know. This is the thing too, because some of these online people, that remember that TikTok psychic. I covered her. I can't remember her name. There's been some updates with that too. TikTok psychic. Let's see. With the Idaho 4 judge, so she tried to countersue that teacher. So this psychopath. His nut job on TikTok went to say that this teacher was involved in the Idaho murders, and the teacher turned around to sue her.
This is a self-proclaimed TikTok psychic, and what she's about to do will change her life forever.
This is not a feeling, this is knowledge. I did a reading when I saw Rebecca Schofield on the History Department's page on Rebecca Schofield and her connection. I also did readings on some of the other people and their connection. What came out on their reading is how they responded to the crimes and how they were feeling about it. What came out in Rebecca Schofield's reading was how she implemented it, how she planned it, and why.
So that was Ashley Gilliard. This self-proclaimed TikTok psychic just lost.
So she had her claim this, the judge, her countersuit got dismissed. Judge dismisses counterclaims by TikTok psychic against UI professor, calling him clearly baseless. So she took an L on that. So sometimes there's people too, they gotta be really careful when stating things as fact.
Minutes of me posting the video on Instagram instantly started to gaslight everyone in the comment section, acting as if he didn't do anything wrong, who then had his friends, like this woman who I know for a fact attended the retreat last year when Nancy was there. I'm not sure if she went this year, but
Stop saying things you don't know. Eddie's going through a lot because of what happened. He is there every step of the way to help with the search and has been in contact with Nancy's family and police. No one is more devastated than him. Well, I'd argue that the family probably is more the family. But anyway, because of what had happened, it's already so hard for everyone that knows Nancy, since she is our dear friend and we all do yoga together. Oh, man. The yoga world. Zen. It is already so hard with everyone that knows Nancy, since she is our dear friend. Don't say things without confirmation, and this is how rumors spread and can hurt a lot of people. I was at the same retreat last year, and we all had a great time. Nancy decided to go again. Eddie is one of the, I don't know what this is.
Then had his friends come and gaslight us in the comments. There's a second person in the comments claiming that I'm rumor mongering. I'm assuming they're trying to claim that I'm spreading rumors. So I just want to make this abundantly clear. Every single update video that I made about Nancy Ng has been 1000% verified by people involved. Like this press release that was just released literally seconds ago by Black Wolf Helicopter, aka the private search.
I was trying to find this press release. So he said Black Wolf Helicopter. Let me see if I can find that while we're live. Black Wolf Helicopter. I mean, you really got to get into that water, though. Right? I mean, the people that are doing the search, they're just flying over, right? Wouldn't they have to really... Here it is. Here's the release. All right, let's take a look at the release. See what it said here. Let me save it. This poor quality file that was put up. Let's see. Let's take a look here and see what it says. Okay. Official urgent witness appeal. So this was press release the 11th of November. Nancy Ng, a California resident, unfortunately went missing in Lake Atilan, Guatemala on Thursday, October 19th at approximately 12:20 p.m. when she allegedly took part in a group kayak activity. From this, she did not return despite extensive searches by helicopter, boat, dive team, and K9 supported by DGAC SAR. Oh, okay. Guatemala Bomberos Volanteros, Aviation Section, and local Bomberos Volanteros. No physical evidence of her has been found. Nancy was on a yoga retreat called Be the Change, organized between October 14th and October 20th. So this is October 20th. The criminal case has been released to our search team that the criminal case has been released to our search team that the two key witnesses who have been proven to be part of this group at the time of the incident have, as of this date, not been forthcoming. The two individuals' names are known to local Guatemalan and United States authorities. The entire group left Lake Atilan the morning after Nancy's disappearance and returned to the United States. Due to the location of Lake Atilan, great risk is being taken by search teams. However, without an accurate account of the situations regarding Nancy Ng's disappearance, the search is severely frustrated. Black Wolf Helicopter is unable to comment on the criminal case. However, we can confirm we resumed search operations on November 9th due to the weather and passing of tropical storms. This involved a localized search of the area with Nancy in which Nancy went missing and involved 2 helicopters, dive and boat teams, plus an extensive ground and coastal search that included K9 assets. As the search coordinator, I personally request that these individuals present themselves to their local law enforcement department and at the earliest opportunity on behalf of Nancy's family. Ooh. So I wonder what they know. And they're dubbing it a criminal investigation. Okay, so let's listen back to what this guy has to say. TikTok. The world of TikTok.
A rescue team that was hired by Nancy's family to continue the search for Nancy because Guatemala doesn't have the resources to continue the search for her. And in this press release, it stated that this is a criminal case with 2 persons of interest and would.
So he can use this to protect himself. That would give him a good enough reason to I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but to make the assertions that he's had. I mean, this is his, I guess, backup here.
Would you look at that? The first person is Eduardo, aka Eddie Ramada, the yoga instructor. And would you look at that second name? Christina Marie.
Did I see that on the thing though? Okay, so the one that I have doesn't have those names. I wonder if there's another post on Facebook. Let me take a look. Let's see. There's the search team right here. Let me show you this picture. It's a nice picture here. So I don't see those names on it.
Blazik, aka Eddie. This is a criminal case.
That's weird.
Case with 2 persons of interest and would.
Okay, it says it right there in his thing. I wonder how come I don't have that picture. This is November 11th. So let me look at the. Okay, let's see if there's a November 13th. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. They actually have some pretty cool pictures on Facebook. Oh, I think they deleted it. Oh no, wait. Did they? This says press release November 13th. The one that I see on Facebook says November 11th. Posted on the 13th. I wonder if they deleted it. Because this one doesn't have the names. I wonder if they deleted it and reposted it, like just to remove the names to protect themselves legally or whatever. Released with legal permission from Nancy's family and legal attorney. I wonder if they deleted and modified it. This is the dog, the doggy. Teamwork. We got the chopper. That's pretty dope. The chopper's right there. Black Wolf helicopters. That's dope. Unless they posted it somewhere else. Let me see if they have an Instagram page real quick. Oh, I'm not logged in. Okay, let's keep listening.
Would you look at that? The first person is Eduardo, aka Eddie Ramada, the yoga instructor. And would you look at that second name? Christina Marie Blazik, aka the woman that kayaked out further into the lake with Nancy Ng when the 8 other members of the group returned back to the kayak rental place and was the only person who witnessed what happened to Nancy Ng, who then moments after she supposedly witnessed Nancy Ng drowning by herself in the lake, returned back to the shore at the rental place, came up this dock ushered by Eddie Ramada, doesn't say a single word either of them to anyone at the rental place, doesn't even pay for the kayaks, returns back to the resort where they continue to ransack Nancy's room looking for something. Then the next day, rebook their return flights a day early, cut the whole retreat 1 day short, and then flee the country without a word in trying to help find Nancy's body, supposedly. Do you want to know the crazy part that's going to make your blood boil? Christina Marie Blazik is a lawyer. And not just any lawyer, she's a public defender for San Bernardino County. She doesn't even have a photo on her LinkedIn. In fact, this was the only photo that I could find of her. And it was posted by Levitt and Quinn Family Law Center when they hired Christina Blazek back in October 2018 as their new domestic violence advocacy fellow. And again, just so I don't get accused of spreading rumors, here it is on her LinkedIn that she worked at Levitt and Quinn from 2018 to 2019. Another fun fact about Christina, she worked for the Weinstein Company and was working there when Harvey Weinstein got arrested. Even as just a legal assistant, there's no way she didn't hear about the rumblings of what Harvey Weinstein was doing during the 2 years she was there. And as a lawyer, especially
on a team actively working to cover up Harvey Weinstein's actions
during the 2 years she was there. And as a lawyer, especially a public defender who deals in criminality, she should know better than anyone else what to do after an accident where someone disappears. I don't know, like, don't flee the country? And I don't know about you, but a public defender who's supposed to work for the people who actively didn't care about someone else's life when they witnessed someone supposedly drown in the middle of a lake, I don't think they should be a public defender. I mean, you're telling me that for the past 4 weeks after you fled Guatemala, after you returned from your retreat, knowing what you know about what happened to Nancy, you woke up every morning, Monday through Friday, put on a suit, went into a courtroom, into your office where you're defending people, talking to judges, interacting with the police officers, telling witnesses and your clients to tell the truth, knowing full well that you fled a country where a woman disappeared and you actively did nothing to help find her. Yeah, no, guilty or not, you definitely don't deserve your job. And you got to put your daughter to bed every night for the last 4 weeks, while this family is hoping to receive a ransom call because that means that Nancy is still alive for the last 4 weeks. No.
Yeah, there was a news clip where I think the sister was like, she said that her father like has the phone by him at night or with him all the time because hoping that like maybe he'll get a call that like she was kidnapped or like some sort of ransom thing, just hoping that she's alive or something, you know?
No, you don't deserve to be a public defender. In fact, the bar should fucking revoke your license. And if this is making you livid, please remember that because Guatemala doesn't have the resources to continue the search for Nancy, the family is having to pay out of their own pocket to fund the search. So if you are able to, please help them out, because this beautiful 29-year-old who dedicated her life to working with special needs kids deserves to come home.
Yeah. Going in. This is iCkEdMeL. I'll put a link to his I have the family's GoFundMe too in the description of the video, but I'll put a link to his TikTok as well in the description. Kind of curious if he's talking anymore. Maybe. Okay. Nancy update.
It's officially been 4 weeks since Nancy Ng's disappearance in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala, and many of you, rightfully so, have a lot of questions, and there's also a lot of speculation in the comment section. So let's go through some of the details, try to squash some of these rumors so that we can have a better understanding of the circumstances surrounding Nancy Ng's disappearance. And before we get into it, I just want to quickly state that even though I did focus a lot of time on the suspicious circumstances surrounding Nancy's disappearance, never at any point did I accuse Eddie Ramada or Christina
Blazek. You got to come and clean it up now.
Of doing anything to cause Nancy's disappearance. But I, like many of you, can't seem to wrap my head around if this was
maybe just clarify, because I'm sure that one,
just an accident and Nancy did just happen to drown. Why did Christine, Eddie, and the rest of the group just basically leave without helping with the investigation? And then moreover, why have they not?
Yeah, this is Nancy and this woman too.
cooperated with Nancy Ng's family to try to find Nancy's body. Because even the head of the search and rescue team that's searching for Nancy stated that in all of his years, he's never had someone who witnessed someone's disappearance not cooperate with the investigation. And why are the owners of the kayak rental company stating that immediately after Nancy disappeared, when Christina Blazek returned back to shore, they claimed that she was distressed and that Eddie Ramada shielded her from onlookers, and they just rushed back to the hotel and then left early that day, a day early from the retreat, 5 o'clock in the morning, which makes sense because apparently it takes about 4 hours to get to the airport from the lake. And part of the reason for that is Lake Atitlan is surrounded by volcanoes and mountains. You can tell a little better from this photo, but not only is it surrounded by all this mountainous range, but Lake Atitlan is actually over 1,500 meters high, which is just barely under a mile high. In fact, one of the people that I'm getting information from outside of people that knew Eddie and Christina and Nancy, including Nancy's family, is also a contact from the search and rescue team. And what I've learned is because of the altitude and all of the mountains, the airflow in the area is actually very unpredictable. So much so that one of the days that they were doing the search and rescue, it took them 9 hours just to get to the lake, which affects a couple of different things, including being the reason as to why Guatemala could only do search and rescue for 3 days. And at its deepest is about 1,050 feet deep. And these environmental factors actually affects a couple of different things. And at that high of an altitude, the air is less dense, which means that you are less buoyant, which not only means that it's a little bit easier to drown, but it also means that your body will most likely sink to the bottom. And because divers can only dive to about 330 feet, which means that if Nancy drowned where it's about 1,000 feet deep, not only can the divers not go down that far to be able to search for her body, but there's only a handful of people in the world with the equipment and the expertise to be able to effectively use sonar to look for her body. And by the way, the search and rescue team is bringing in one of the best and fastest people who are able to find bodies using sonar. And many of us, including myself, got really excited when we found out that the FBI is getting involved. However, what I've been told is that the FBI getting involved is one FBI field agent in Guatemala who has other priorities. A lot of you have also speculated something like this. But what I can assure you is that Nancy at the time of her disappearance was in a very loving and committed relationship. And from what I've been told, Eddie wouldn't even be interested romantically in Nancy or Christina. And just like many of you, learning that her room had ransacked is what really threw me for a loop. And that detail is actually part of the reason why this scenario also went through my head, because logically in my mind, I was like, why would someone who...
Somebody here said, I have a feeling they were doing illegal drugs on the trip and something happened because of it while out. And while she got... And when they got back, grabbed what drugs she had. So I don't know where he's getting. I mean, he obviously has contacts, I guess, with the family and the search people. So I guess he'd know more. That is interesting if it truly is that the room was ransacked.
Someone who's being very dodgy also ransacked Nancy's room other than to get any incriminating evidence that might make them culpable. But not only did everyone that I talked to who knew Nancy personally tell me that that was not her vibe in the least, but the search and rescue team also stated that they found nothing to suggest that substances were involved at all. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not possible, but it does mean that it's highly unlikely. Now, returning back to the ransacked room, a lot of people that know Eddie have told me that Eddie is actually very irresponsible, and for legal purposes, let's just call them rumors, are circulating within Hot 8 Yoga in Pasadena that Eddie did not ask his retreat goers for an emergency contact because he actually had to call the front desk at Hot 8 Yoga to get Nancy's emergency contact. And people that know Eddie and Nancy say that that's the reason that they believe that Nancy's room was ransacked, because he was desperately looking for an emergency contact. Again, just a rumor. Now, a lot of the people that I talked to that know Eddie personally did state that a lot of his followers are a little obsessed with him and follow him blindly and unconditionally. And they did also add in that Eddie does have a bit of a self-inflated ego and does think very highly of himself, which kind of does give out cult vibes, but they all did agree that there was definitely no cult. Again, doesn't mean it's not a possibility, but highly unlikely. And for those of you in the comments who are stating that Christina Blazek is just exercising her right to remain silent and that she has the right, you're 100% correct. However, Nancy's family and the search and rescue team both stated through the media that they don't even know where to look because the lake is 12 miles long and 6 miles wide. That's like someone borrowing your really expensive diamond earring and then losing it in your house. And when you're like, hey, where did you see it last? They're just like, in your house. And you're like, what room? And they won't tell you what room, and then they ghost you for 4 weeks. And then 4 weeks later, after you and all of your mutual friends make a big stink about it, your friend finally reaches out to you through a lawyer. Now, a lot of people who live near the lake or have been to the lake a bunch of times have told me that the lake is pretty calm, but the waters do get pretty choppy sometimes. And many of you have been talking about the undercurrents inside of the lake, and while the search and rescue team did confirm that there are undercurrents inside of Lake Atitlan, they don't believe that the undercurrents are strong enough that Nancy was able to get sucked in that quickly and disappear. And while this isn't impossible, if that is what happened, I believe that they wouldn't have just taken Nancy, but would have taken Nancy and Christine because they were right next to each other. And lastly, I just want to touch on Christina Blazek's claim that Nancy Ng decided to go swimming while the two of them were just out there in the middle of the lake. And again, not that this couldn't happen, but logically, why wouldn't someone go swimming earlier on in the day when it's warmer out and the water is significantly calmer like is seen in this video, and instead choose to go in the water later on in the day when the water is like significantly choppier, when you're not even wearing a life jacket and now there's only one person who can look after you. I didn't know Nancy, but I know she's smarter than that. Not only that, but she's also not a thrill seeker. She was literally there to relax and reset. It literally doesn't make any sense. You're telling me you're at a retreat where you're eating in silence and solitude every day to practice meditation, and hours later you're jumping in the lake because you're seeking a thrill? That doesn't make any sense. And again, at no point did I accuse Eddie or Christina of doing anything malicious to Nancy, but again, all of this suspicious behavior doesn't quite add up to someone who didn't do anything wrong. And as a reminder, Nancy's family is having to fund the search for Nancy out of their own pocket because Guatemala doesn't have the resources. So if you are able,
Okay.
It's officially been 4 weeks since Nancy.
I guess that's it. Let me see. Has he done any updates? I think that was it. Let's see. Yeah, that was it. Okay. This is the fundraiser here, and they raised over 100K, which is amazing. Amazing. She's 29 years old. She loves yoga, traveling, hiking with her family, and cuddling with her cat. She has a kind heart, a big smile, and can talk to anyone about anything and often everything. She's a caring daughter, a loving sister, and a supportive friend. With the help of the Guatemala's National Tourism Assistance Program and some kind locals, we mobilize search and rescue efforts. The purpose of this fundraiser is to help support these efforts as well. Okay. So the rescue efforts have been helicopter search and rescue, equipment for volunteer divers, boat rescue teams, potential use of submarine and sonar equipment, family support, travel expenses, and financial support. The last update was November 20th. They just thanked everybody for the 100K. At the moment, we're not raising our goal. However, we will continue to accept donations. Heading into week 5 since Nancy's disappearance, we want to address an important update you may have seen in the news last week. Christina Marie Blazek, the woman who was with Nancy at the time of her disappearance, released statements to the media through her lawyer, Christopher Gardner. We'd like to provide some additional context from our point of view and hopefully clear up some misunderstandings. According to Gardner, Christina kayaked to the middle of Lake Atitlan, I guess, to see where it changes due to the depth. Okay. So according to the attorney, Christina kayaked to the middle of the lake. All right. To see where it changes color due to depth. The water became rough and she started heading back to shore when she and Nancy happened upon each other. After chatting for a moment, Nancy told Christina that she was just going for a swim. Christina tried to tell Nancy not to swim because it was rough out there and that there was a good current. According to Christina, her warning went ignored. Nancy went into the water and in the process pushed her kayak away. Christina tried to retrieve the kayak. In Gardner's words, kept one leg in her kayak and one leg in the other kayak and tried to get back to Nancy and got close to her. And then apparently she lost the kayak again. And she turned around to go get the kayak again. And when she turned back around, Nancy was gone. Gardner says Christina went for help, gave a full statement to Guatemalan police, and has spoken to the FBI. According to him, to say my client hasn't done all she can is not true. As to why she didn't respond to our request for information, he says Christina was traumatized by the experience and needed time. Addressing an email we sent to her on 10/31/23, he states, they tell her they understand she has been through a rough, traumatic experience, but then tell her she needs to come forward to assist authorities And they say in the same email, if she doesn't come forward, they'll make her come forward. Okay, and in another statement, he says, the family got a hold of misinformation and put it out there. My client has now become 100% absolute victim, has become a victim. Wow. First of all, we'd like to express our appreciation that we have these statements from Christina through her attorney when it comes to understanding what happened to Nancy and where to find her. Every piece of information is invaluable, no detail too small. For instance, as we stated by our head of search, the detail about Christina kayaking to the lake, to where the lake changes color due to depth, could have helped his team focus their initial search on the deepest part of the lake where the water is opaque. Given the urgent, time-sensitive nature of the search, we only wish we could have received some information sooner. As far as Christina's account of the incident, we fully recognize the possibility that Nancy drowned. As heart-wrenching as it is to consider, we know we must thoroughly explore it. What we do not understand is the inconsistencies between the direct statements provided by her lawyer and the varying secondhand accounts of her story we've heard from others. However, at the moment, our attention is focused on determining the precise location of the incident. Resolving these inconsistencies ultimately falls under the purview of the Guatemalan public prosecutor's office. Good luck with that. With regard to Gardner's claims, we have put out misinformation. We'd like to point out that the information we have provided was by the Guatemalan public prosecutor's office. In the 100-plus page report we received, there's no direct witness statement from Christina or any official record, and they got 100 pages, or any official record that the statement Gardner claims she provided to Guatemalan police exists. According to the report, the prosecutor's office was unable to obtain Christina's testimony as the group left early in the morning the day after the incident. To our knowledge, they still haven't been able to secure her testimony, but we're thankful to hear she has spoken with the FBI. We hope she will also speak with the public prosecutor's office as they're leading the investigation. As for Gardner's statement that we wrote Christina, if she doesn't come forward, we'll make her come forward, that is simply not true. To prove it, we're sharing the emails we sent to her work and personal email addresses on 10/25 and 10/31. In addition to these, we passed along our contact information through the retreat organizer and other participants. Recognizing Christina might feel uncomfortable speaking directly to us, we requested she at least speak with our search team, as time is of the essence and her account is the most valuable locating Nancy. We waited 6 days after the incident to contact Christina, directly 6 more to follow up. When the media began to cover our situation on 11/3/2023, we encouraged witnesses to step forward, not naming names. After 10 days passed and search efforts stalled, Black Wolf helicopters released Christina's name in hopes that she might step forward to provide crucial information to help the search. The next day after Nancy disappeared, Christina released statements to the media through her lawyer. The next day, 26 days after Nancy disappeared, Christina released statements to the media through her lawyer. We understand whatever Christina experienced on the water may have been traumatic and difficult to relive. We understand she is not legally obligated to speak with us. What we do not understand is why she or her lawyer didn't provide this information to us or our search team earlier, why there is no record of her statement she allegedly provided to the Guatemalan police, why after our numerous attempts to privately appeal to the goodness of her heart, she is only now stepping forward to publicly through her attorney. As family urgently seeking any piece of information that might help us find Nancy, Christina's silence has been hard to stomach. However, we hope her recent statements are a step towards clarity and understanding. We do not want to make assumptions. We want answers. We want to find our sister, our daughter. It has now been 32 days since Nancy went missing, over a month since we've seen her smile, heard her laugh, or felt her warm, loving hugs that just a little longer, that last just a little longer than you expect a hug to last. It's painful to think even about the holidays without her here. Who's going to delay dinner 2 hours by ambitiously attempting to ridiculously complex recipe for the first time ever? Who's going to crack a lame joke, repeat it twice, then thoroughly explain it as if no one got it? Who's going who's going to herd our reluctant family together for yet another group photo before the night ends. On Thanksgiving, we'll leave the extra seat at the table for Nancy, though she might not be there in person. Her presence will be felt in our hearts, our minds, and in our shared love and memories of her. And for that, we'll always be thankful. Sorry, horrible time reading that. Se encontraban navegando el kayak en el referido lago. Sin embargo, la señora Cristina, junto con el señor Eduardo, quien posiblemente actúa como guía del grupo. So he was like, they're saying that Eddie guy was like the leader, acting as the leader of the group. Se encontraban Nancy, Cristina. So Nancy, Cristina went back to the hotel. En el cual encontraban. They say here that they couldn't get, no fue posible tomar la declaración testimonial. They couldn't get testimonies from Cristina and Eduardo. People that are essential in the investigation. So she claims she spoke to FBI, but I guess they haven't spoke to the actual Guatemalan police. They dipped out. Let me see. Oh, here's the email. My name is Nikki. My brother Jonathan is also CC'd here. We are Nancy's sister and brother. We have received their information from some guests at the hotel, maybe. As you can imagine, the days since Nancy's disappearance have been incredibly painful and difficult. We understand that you were with her on the water and would like to extend our sympathy for your traumatic experience you must have endured. We have search and rescue teams currently deployed looking for Nancy. Unfortunately, their efforts have been challenged by weather conditions and incomplete information. We're reaching out in hopes that you might have information that will greatly aid in our search. Will you please tell us what you saw during the incident? We understand how difficult it is to revisit such a traumatic event, but our family needs as much information as possible to find Nancy. And this is the second attempt, I guess. It's Nikki and Jonathan. We have attempted to contact you on prior occasions to request you speak on the facts of my sister's disappearance, and you have failed to reply. This raises suspicion, not only with me, but also with my family and friends, that you may be hiding something. While we can have compassion for what may have been a traumatic event, we cannot understand why you will not voluntarily speak with us. It has been nearly 2 weeks since our sister has gone missing, and we are desperate to get the answers we need in order to find her. We encourage you to contact us so that we can get a full explanation of what you saw or heard leading up to the events of Nancy's disappearance. Please help us understand what happened. I wish they didn't leave their phone number there. What happened leading up to the events of Nancy's disappearance. Please help us understand what happened to bring Nancy home. If you fail to cooperate, we will pursue this matter further. So there was no threat. Besides, we're going to legally pursue this more. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. 50. Hey. Said, hey, Mel, I love your Christmas decorations. Thank you so much. And I don't know if Sandy's watching too. I forgot to. And Carissa, thank you for the 22 months membership. Hit the like button. Please, if you guys get the like, subscribe if you're not already. I see you looking, Andrews. Thank you for the 26 months. Holy ish. What's on the other thing? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Now to the growing mystery surrounding him.
With a woman.
The 29-year-old was on a
I mean, at least if they're able to find her, you know, if she is deceased in the water, like at least to be able to put her to rest. You know, I don't know. Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate that. Says, hey Mel, I love your Christmas decorations. Yeah, thank you. Just did it over the weekend. Kind of sucks. It's a weird story. I don't know if they were just freaked out or what. I mean, who's to say anybody would react? But I just can imagine like leaving a family hanging for like weeks. You know, weeks to just, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of fucked up. And they seem like the family, like they've been nice, like, you know, formal emails. I don't know that I'd be so nice. I'd probably be calling. I'd probably be leaving some curse words on a voicemail. You know, I might show up, show up to her place of work or her house or something. I don't know if it's my family member that's missing like that. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Notre Dame, what's up? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully they get some answers with regards to Nancy. Pretty crazy. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, make sure you guys subscribe to the second channel. Okay. Make sure you subscribe there because we're doing chases over there. It's mostly just going to be chases. I mean, unless something comes up sometime, I might do something else there. For the most part, it's chases there. Make sure you don't miss out on the notifications, okay? And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, and then you have to manually click all notifications, or else it's going to be like personalized, and then you're just going to randomly show you notifications. So, I don't know, man. Poor girl. The heck? Southwest Airlines passenger jumps out of emergency door. Was arrested on Sunday night in New Orleans after allegedly escaping the plane through the emergency hatch and running on the tarmac. Okay, it was already landed. I think at a certain height, those doors don't open. Bro. See this. Florida man. Oh, by the way, guys, we are going to be here tomorrow morning. I should probably set up the stream at 10 a.m. Okay, tomorrow morning is Alex Murdaugh's sentencing. Okay, for that the Satterfield. I don't know if it's all. I don't know if they're just charging for the Satterfield stuff or it's all the other financial stuff as well. Let me see if I can just make a placeholder live stream for tomorrow morning. Let's see. Alex, where are you? Okay. Review settings. Okay. Live. Okay, yeah, so we'll be here back tomorrow morning. Let's set up for 10. Rise and shine. Tuesday, okay. So I just set up the stream. So I'm going to read when I end this, I'm going to move people over there too. Oh. Sled. Yeah, we do need a chase. There was actually almost a chase before we started the stream, but then it got canceled. The night is very young. That's one of my worries sometimes too when I stream late on this channel, like later in the day or evening. I worry about me being here and then a chase happens. But all right, man. So thank you guys so much for coming through tonight. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the second channel. And Astastic, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate that. Hey Mel, happy I caught it live with you. Love you. Thank you. Love you too. Thank you for all your support all this time. Appreciate you. Let me see if there's anything real quick. Anything else? Oh, I heard about this ish earlier. Naked man jumps into Disneyland ride.
A naked man ran through a ride at Disneyland.
Oh no.
Things have changed a lot at Disneyland in Anaheim, California since it opened in 1955. But there is a rule that has always been in place. Clothing is not optional. One man was seen on bystander video without clothing, jumping into the water of It's a Small World. Located in Fantasyland,
That's a place for kids. They should charge them with something.
It's a Small World is a slow-moving boat ride featuring about 300 audio animatronic figures,
Sonia, hey,
singing
what's up? How
about
you
the
doing?
similarities of children from around the world.
Thank you for the 11 months. Amazing. I hope you're doing good. Happy holidays.
Calming music and slow speed make it a classic attraction for parents to bring their babies and young children aboard.
It's a
The
small
man
world after all.
reportedly stripped to his shorts inside the attraction. Then once outside, he ditched the last bit of fabric.
Ah.
A ride employee was seen approaching the naked man as he jumped into the water. The man was lifted and carried out by members of the Anaheim Police Department. Officials say the unidentified man was arrested for indecent exposure.
Gotta tow his ass out. Take this shit out.
And being under the influence, identified man was arrested for indecent exposure and being under the influence of a controlled substance.
Wonder what he was on. Damn. By the way, there is there's this new thing that people are talking about with Apple. People are issuing out this warning. Apple, iPhone. Let's see. iPhone news. So police are warning about there's a new feature called name drop, okay, on the iPhone. And let's watch it together. I gotta find out about this too. Apparently, anybody that comes close to you can just pull up all your contact information just by being in the vicinity of you. Oh, they show you how to turn it off. So settings. Let me do it right now. Let's all do it together. Go to settings. And what is it? General. AirDrop. Ooh, these dirty motherfuckers. It's on. It's called Start Sharing by Bring Devices Together. Easily swap numbers with name drop. Share photos and other. So what does it do? And why would an Apple, like, I don't know, why would they have that default on? Oakland County Sheriff's Office is the latest enforcement agency to warn about the new feature, Apple iOS 17 update called Name Drop. The feature allows people to share their contact information by being next to one another. The Name Drop feature is turned on by default with the new update, meaning if your phone is a few centimeters from the top of another person's iPhone or Apple Watch, we know that this allows you to share it and you can refuse it. Okay. But many people do not check their settings and realize how their phone works. So you have to accept it. Parents, don't forget to change these settings after the update on your child's phones as well. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's better just to have it turned off. Mustard Mama, thank you for the membership. 6 months. Happy Thanksgiving, Mel. Grateful for your channel and this community. Your family, you're a family favorite in our house. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I know I haven't been so active. I'm trying to. Hopefully, I want to get back into the rhythm. It's a little tough with all this holiday stuff and birthday stuff and all that stuff going on. But yeah, I need to pick it back up. Elon Musk, though, went to Israel, too. For anybody following the whole Israel thing, Elon Musk went to Israel. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but it's trending now. They're telling Elon he needs to go to Gaza next. He's like, all right, you went to Israel, okay, now you need to go to Gaza. Oh, wow.
That's the bomb shelter.
Oh, shoot. I don't know what they're going to show. Hold on a second. Twitter's wild. Let me just...
Keep loading.
Part is with our hostages.
Okay, it's okay. We can watch it. Just gotta be careful, you know. I guess they're showing like somebody being abducted.
Keep loading.
Habibi.
Part is with our hostages in Gaza. Sure. So if you put it will be here. Thank you very much.
Now, I don't know. So they were labeling him as an anti-Semite. A couple of organizations, and some of the things that happened with Twitter recently. There was this Media Matters. They went and said that ads popped up. Twitter ads popped up next to like, I don't know, I guess racist stuff or I don't know, stuff like that. And so a couple of companies left Twitter. And so I think Elon Musk is suing Media Matters. For anybody that cares about that social media stuff. I wonder which companies pulled out. Musk sues Media Watchdog for reporting on Twitter's Nazi problem. Advertisers left. It's actually happened, I think, before on YouTube. I think some advertisers left in the past, and I think they're able to get them back. But the world of Twitter. The home baker says, "What about the chase last night?" And the guy jumped off the bridge. What? What guy jumped off a bridge? I didn't see that. We did do a chase last night, but I don't remember anybody jumping off a bridge. What? What?
The places where people were murdered. It was certainly been a day, I would say an emotionally difficult day to see the places where people were murdered. I just did a talk with the Prime Minister, and I think obviously there are three things that need to happen in the Gaza situation.
Pop scan updated?
There's no choice
Really?
but to
Check it out.
kill those who insist on murdering civilians. There's no choice. They're not going to change their mind. And then the second thing is to change the education so that a new generation of murderers is not trained to be murderers. And then the third thing, which is also very important, is to try to build prosperity. It was certainly been a day, I would say an emotionally difficult day to see the places where people...
It says, update, supposedly when the suspect jumped from the freeway, they got hit by a vehicle. What? Suspect got out of their vehicle and has just jumped off the overpass. Wow. Oh, he died? Wow. Pursuit suspect died after jumping from the freeway. What in the heck? Here somebody posted this picture, perspective of how high it is. Why the hell would he do that? Was he on drugs? Thank you, Janelle. Appreciate that. Gracias. Thank you, Home Baker, for that. I didn't know that. Wow. At first glance, good. He's a criminal. Then I read the article. It sounds like he was suffering from mental health illness, and he ran because people called a welfare check. Let's take a look at the article.
I'm coming in.
Too many windows open.
Death at the end of a pursuit. It happened just before 9 o'clock last night on the northbound 215 south of the 60 interchange. Riverside police initially tried to stop the driver and he refused. He eventually stopped on the transition to the westbound 91. Witnesses say he got out of the vehicle and jumped off the overpass. He died at the scene. It is unclear why police tried to pull him over in the first place.
So, okay, let's see. A man who led authorities on a pursuit died after jumping off a freeway interchange in Riverside Sunday night. Police responded to a welfare check on a possible distraught man in the University neighborhood around 8:45 p.m. Riverside Police Department Public Information Officer Ryan Railsback said the described man was spotted driving in his vehicle several minutes later, and officers attempted to contact him, but he did not stop. After a short pursuit, the driver stopped on the 621591 freeway interchange, got out of his vehicle, and jumped from the roadway. He was located below the overpass and pronounced dead at the scene. Okay, I thought maybe they had more information. Damn. No, I don't think that was a chase we did. That's something different. I don't think that was a chase we covered last night. Right? Let me see. That vehicle.
In a burglary and originally spotted in Gardena. He's exiting now at Florence Avenue. This is going to put him in de donde.
Oh, shit. Maybe that's him. It kind of looks similar, doesn't it? Hold on. So that's the vehicle here. It's purple. Looks purple. I don't know what the real color is. That's that vehicle there.
Y donde ocurrió también el robo, pero al momento se cree que
I think that's it. Damn. No? Is it not the one we watched?
hay solo una persona a bordo.
Oh.
Being a helicopter.
Wait. No. This guy drove under. No, this can't be him. This car's under the freeway, right? No. Oh, no. Somebody pointed out 4 doors. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm about to say. Ooh.
To a red light here, wrong side of the road.
Oh, Lord. Does that have 4 doors too, though? No? Oscar, thank you for the 20. Appreciate that.
Coming up to a red light here, wrong side of the road.
Oh, Lord, Jesus,
and going to be making that, looks like a westbound turn on a gauge from Central. So westbound gauge. If he continues west, that'll put him over to the one.
I'm going to go lay back.
Platforms. I know Now from
leaving me.
Thank you very much.
All right. Not him. Damn. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off for now. Hopefully, there'll be a chase tonight. Hopefully, we'll get some action tonight. But if not, I will see you in the morning, 10 a.m., I believe. Okay? All right. And it's supposed to be victim impact statements, too. So, we'll see. All right. Good night. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. Good night. Buenos dias. Buenas noches.